are watching 32 teams in 32 days on the Game Time Sports Network.
It's a great day, sports world. Going into the fourth team in the NFC North. It's the Detroit Lions. Amon, how you doing today, brother? Another day.
Another day, another long day. Folks tired. Got Detroit Lions on deck, man. But guess what, though, Larry? We get real football tonight for a little bit. It might not be the real deal, but it'll hold me over till September 7th, 8th.
Hey,
I'm cool.
I don't care what
Cool.
nobody said. To fans like us, this is what we live for. We love this time of the year. Shout out to Rob and Darrell and all these other guys too. Like we love this time of the year because then we see those gems on our team that we can look forward to in October, November. Like, oh, that guy shined in preseason. We see they coming. Look at them now. You know, the guys of the future. So that a lot of people might not like preseason, but I love
Yep,
it.
you can call it born, but I don't give a. I love it, man. Let me see the fourth string guy that ain't gonna make the roster. That's gonna be on somebody to truck tomorrow. I don't care. I just want to see him live out his dream and make a roster if he can.
Hey, and then look at the trade compensation that comes from that, just in case a team does need a certain individual, then that's more trade compensation to you when it comes to April. So it's like little nooks and crannies that I just love about this season, man. I'm pumped. Got preseason games tonight. You know, y'all play tonight for Fernando. I'm about to say Francisco, but Fernando playing tonight. Big spot tonight. Him and Carson Beck going at it.
Carson
Uh,
Beck not playing tonight, so
oh, we not playing tonight.
no, he's
Okay,
not playing tonight.
yeah, so the first overall pick is up tonight. We get to see what that's going to be like. But right now, we talking about the Detroit Lions, the fifth ranked offense. They were third in the pass. They were ranked 14th on the run. Uh, they missed the playoffs last season. I want to say they made like what two straight playoff appearances. Missed last year at 9-8, fourth in the NFC South, NFC North, as we said. Jared Goff, uh, over 4,500 yards, 34 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Uh, what did you think about the Lions season? And do you think this is a season where they can hopefully get back to the playoffs?
Yeah, man. For me, I think the Lions last year were a little underwhelming. We know about the stars that they got, I'm gonna say Bijan, the Jameers, the Laportas, the St. Browns, the Jameson Williams, the even on the offensive line, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker. I don't think he's on the team anymore. I think he retired, I believe, if I'm not
So,
mistaken. But the defense, man, the defense leaves some room for some upgrade. They dealt with a lot of injuries last year. Had young corners playing, Terry and Arnold, very young corner that was playing that didn't give them much. A first round pick of theirs from a few years ago. Brian Branch was hurt, in and out. Kirby Joseph was hurt. Aleem McNeil, he was coming off an injury from the previous year, so you didn't get the best version of him. Had a big, Jack Campbell in the middle. He was a big stabilizer in the middle, but a little underwhelming. And when we talk about, the defensive line, and we'll get more in depth in that. And so yeah, I think I was a little disappointed only because of the expectations from the year before with Ben Johnson and going having a deep playoff run a few years ago. But I was a little disappointed, man. But hey, this we got a new season, new start for, and maybe they can right those wrongs that they had last year.
Jameer Gibbs is going to be toting the rock by himself now. David Montgomery going to
Houston.
Houston. So and my boy just got a big bag this past week. And credit to you because you pretty much built this graphic. Um, Detroit's offensive core, and you look at those numbers right there. Jameer Gibbs, as you see, 3 years, 67 and a half up to 75.75 million, and 51.5 million guaranteed through 2030. You can see the others there. Jameson Williams, he's uh, under contract through 2029. Amon St. Brown through 28, and Jared Goff from 28. You guys can look at the numbers right there. Um, Man, Detroit has locked these guys up for the long term, isn't it?
Yeah, man, they locked him up. They did a smart thing, took care of him when the time was needed to take care of him, so they won't get no ruffled feathers down the line. As you know, we see other teams like we talked about this morning that are dealing with. They got their guys, they got their core down to 2028. And hey, man, it might get extended again in 2028. But you know, you got your main in-house contract is already behind you. Now let's continue to put our pedal to the metal and go all in and make a run for this thing.
Yeah, Jameer Gibbs had trying to get back to my what the hell, trying to get back to my graphic here, but Jameer Gibbs had over 1,300 yards rushing last season. Didn't lead the league.
Insane.
Say that again.
I said that's insane. They didn't lead the league, but had 1,300 yards of rush.
No, I'm sorry. It was 1,223 yards, 13 touchdowns. He
Okay.
averaged over 5 yards a carry. He also we got us another Christian McCaffrey type. 94 targets, 77 catches with 616 yards. Also 5 tutties on that too. So he's getting production on the pass game and the run game. So now Isaiah Pacheco they did require him during the offseason. I believe he's hurt though. So Jameer gonna have to show that why they paid him what they paid him, and I think he will. Um, let's get to the key additions, key departures here real quick. As I said, Isaiah Pacheco, Christian Ezian. He was a safety from Tampa Bay, I want to say. Cedric Wilson, another wide receiver. Teddy Bridgewater, but he ended up retiring. Um, Juice Scruggs, they got him from the trade. DJ Wonnum, who's a pretty good defensive end. Gives you some defensive end depth over there and production and key departures with David Montgomery, DJ Reader, just to name a few. What, as I always ask, what key departure will hurt this team the most, and what key addition do you think will help this team the most?
Key addition, man. It's hard to pick a addition, man. Maybe Roger McCreary being some depth at corner because right now I think they're trotting out um Rocky Sin as one corner spot, and that's not what you want out there at a starting corner spot late in his career. Not to say he's not a decent player, but we know there's upgrades that can be had there. And then on the key departures, I'm looking at David Montgomery, man. To have that one hit and that two-headed monster and the backfield is that modern day thunder and lightning that they had back in the day at USC when Lindell White and Reggie Bush. I think that's going to be a key departure, one that hurts them the most because the depth after Jameer Gibbs is kind of iffy. You said Isaiah Pacheco, but we know he stayed injured in Kansas City, broke his leg at one point, and he's still trying to get back to the old Pacheco of past, but we don't know if he's going to get there. And some of those pieces across the offensive line, Taylor Decker retired, Graham Glasgow, they all moved on. So you're mixing in some youth that which we'll talk about when we get to the draft pick session. Some youth and some experience, man. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how that all congregate and mesh together and see what it look like on the football field.
Khalif Raymond, another one that could hurt him.
Special teams guy, like we talked about on the previous show.
Yeah, and who was the other one that I was looking at? Marcus Davenport, who was supposed to be that Robin to Aiden Hutchinson's Batman, but it just never like his side. I mean, I think he did pretty well, but not to what we thought it could be because Aiden Hutchinson is still the only one lone pass rusher over there. Uh, so Amon St. Brown going into his 6th year. He's had 4 straight seasons of 1,000+ yards. 1,401 on the yards last year with 11 touchdowns. He had 12 the year before. He had 10 the year before. It's like bro is on a roll. Jameson Williams, as we talked about, he went over 1,000 yards too. I believe that was his first time doing that. No, that was the second time doing it. So it's 2 years in a row, he's going over 1,000 yards. So he well worth it on those contracts. Sam Laporta, he went out last year. He played 9 games, only gave you 489 yards, but he seems to be back. And
Bag year, bag year.
yeah, bag year, and you know how they play in bag years. So let's get to the draft picks here before we touch on the defense. On the draft picks, offensive tackle Blake Miller, they took it 17th overall out of Clemson. Derek Moore to help out there on the edge out of Michigan. You should know him. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Linebacker Jimmy Roder out of Michigan. You should know him as well. So they took
They went
Michigan.
they went down the street, ain't
uh, they took him 118 overall. Keith Abney, the second out of Arizona State, at pick 157 in the fifth round. Also in the fifth round, Kendrick Law out of Kentucky at wide receiver. Skylar Gill Howard out of Texas Tech, defensive tackle. And Tyree West, another defensive tackle out of Tennessee. So hopefully one of those two can hit. If not, both of them can hit to help out their run game, their run defense. So what draft pick to you appeals out to you the most for this team?
they? Derek Moore. I would say Derek Moore is probably the one that's gonna stick out the most since he's an edge out of the second round, and we desperately know Aiden Hutchinson that he needs a Robin to his Batman. They've been trying for years to get the other side, with a consistent person, but for some odd reason, some strange reason, they could just never get that one steady Eddie guy. So now they're bringing in a Michigan man right up the street that's familiar with the Michigan program in their backyard to see if he can give you a little juice off the other side, opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. So, same school, same, they both went to Michigan. So hopefully that's something right there that can spark for them to give them success and have that Robin to Aiden's Batman, as we said, because he can't do it by himself. He's the linchpin for that defense. You can make an argument for Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch where they're healthy, but this defense doesn't move without a healthy Aiden Hutchinson. It did not. It'll be some long, long, long days for this football team.
Oh man, I agree with you there. Blake Miller, who I think is going to be sliding right into the starting role. Taylor Decker retired, so Blake Miller from Clemson, he's going to be sliding right there in that role. How do you think he make an immediate impact?
He's gonna have to make an immediate impact because you get into you lost some Pro Bowl players on that offensive line, whether it was via free agency or retirement. And I think Brad Holmes, he was intentional in drafting Blake Miller that was hoping he fell to them at pick 18, 19, 20, somewhere along that range where they got him. And yeah, he's got to come in and be that pillar behind Panay Sewell, because we know he was over at right at one point. Now they moving over to the left because of their departure. So yeah, man, it's gonna be Blake Miller's show on the right side.
Uh, so I'm trying to get back to where I was.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
So as we said, Taylor Decker 4.5 sacks allowed. Graham Glasgow 5 sacks allowed. I remember him. Played
Mm-hmm.
Denver a couple years.
A couple of them.
Panay Sewell 4 sacks allowed at right tackle. They switched him over to the left now. Christian Mahogany had 4 sacks allowed in 11 games. Cade Mays 2 sacks allowed. Tate Ratledge 3 sacks allowed, and then you slide in Blake Miller, who, like as we just said, think he's going to have to make an immediate impact.
I think
So
Tate was a second and third round pick for them out of Georgia a couple years ago.
yeah,
Yeah, so they need him to continue to develop. And as you said, they got some players there on the offensive line. They just got to get more experience, man. And I think this is the year where um, they can either help or hurt them on that line for sure.
is this the year that Dan Campbell gets it done? We see him at a 551 winning percentage, 53, 43, and 1. It just seems like yesterday when he was biting off kneecaps, in the press in the press conference. Uh, he seems to be making his mark there in Detroit. Seems like that's the head coach that's warranted for that job. Could this be the year that he takes his team to the next level? Even though he took them I would say he took them to that next level where they did go to the NFC Championship game and just didn't get it done. Could this be the year, even with a loaded NFC and a lot in front of him? Could this be the year that he can get there?
Yeah, man, a whole lot's going to rely on that defense. That defense going to have to, because we see the firepower they have on offense to get it done. They can put up points, even though Ben Johnson's not there anymore. He's currently in Chicago, but they have the capabilities of putting up points on the board. Is the question for me is that defensive side of the ball? Can they make one or two more stops per game to allow that offense to take control of the game and get some extra possessions for the offense as well? So I'm going to ask you that question and say it depends on how the defense comes out of the plays this year, whether they can get them to that next level. Because like we had stated, we've been through half of the NFC right now, and we talked about Green Bay, we talked about Chicago. We talked about San Francisco, Seattle. We talked about the Rams. Those are some heavy hitters. We haven't even got to Philly and Dallas, and they'll be coming up here in a few days. But there's some heavy hitters in the NFC, and if your defense can make a stop or two, win you a game or two, then you'll have a pretty good chance to get to where you ultimately want to go.
Aiden Hutchinson played 17 games for the third time in his 4-year career. Last year he played 5. He had the injury. I forgot what it was.
ACL. Of course, it was something
ACL.
ACL. Yeah.
So he had 14 and a half sacks. That was his career high. 54 tackles. That was a career high for him too. 35 quarterback hits. So bro is definitely getting to the quarterback. And you know him well just from him being over there in Michigan. In that defensive end room, you got guys like Levi Wazarike, who it seems like he's been with them forever as well. Peyton Turner, I believe he came from New Orleans. So you're going to have guys like Derek Moore that's going to have to make an immediate impact as well. Lee McNeil still there, hold down the middle of the defense, the middle of that line. Tyreek Williams going into his second year. Can he improve? What did you think about him in his limited time in Detroit last year?
I didn't see too much of Tyreek Williams. I went back to his Ohio State tape. I thought it was pretty decent. Granted, that first round pick, it took him in his 20s in 2025, I want to say. Yeah, 2025. Uh, dominant, run stuffer. He can give you, plus in the run game. And yeah, like on that edge, to go back to you talking about that edge, it's pass rush by committee on the other side, boy. So they're gonna need a collective effort. If they can give you 14, if they can give you maybe 15, 16 combined, maybe a little more, you may have something. But right now, them names you named off, it looks scary right now.
Jack Campbell, 176 tackles. He was a tackle.
Certified dog. Certified dog.
You know who was the second tackle leading tackler behind him? Alex Anzalone with 95.
Yikes.
176 and then 95.
That means if you get past Jack Campbell, you're scoring pretty much. Pretty much. And that's the part because we had injuries to Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch, the two studs back there in the secondary. I know they had a Meek Robinson out there last year at cornerback. They had Terry on, as we alluded before, at cornerback. And so, yeah, man, that back, it's that back 4-5 is going to be critical, along with the front 7, of course, for his football team. Because that's a big gap in tackles. That's a 60, 70 tackle swing. GC65 do math. My math ain't all the way correct, but
Other linebackers in that room is Derek Barnes, Malcolm Rodriguez. So hopefully Jimmy Roller can come in and try to make an impact as well. I think they played tonight as well. Yeah, they played a bit. Cornerback room, DJ Reed. You had Terry Arnold, who was a leader of that room, but he gone, and now you're gonna have to rely on Roger McCreary, DJ Reed, and a host of others, including Keith Abney II, who was just drafted this year. So Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, these guys are injured. Hopefully, they'll be able to start the season on a good note. If not,
Yeah,
then
yeah, I think yeah. I think Keith. I'm thinking about Keith Abney in my head. Sorry to cut you off. He was I think he like 6'4". He's
yeah.
like a tall, linky corner. So that name just popped up. I remember him through the draft cycle. I was like, yeah, that's a big boy.
Everybody following that Seattle method with getting those tall corners. Uh, let's talk about on the defensive side of the ball. Speaking of locked up, not there. There we go. Aiden Hutchinson, 4 years, 180 million. Jack Campbell, 4 years, 81. Kirby Joseph, 4 years, 86, with 36 guaranteed, and then Brian Branch. He's still in his rookie deal, so he should be coming up. Basically after the season.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he does well this season, what the hell is going on? If he does well this season, he could be in line to get some type of contract, whether it's this season or sometime next season as well.
Yeah, he's definitely gonna be in line to get a contract because I think he was like almost an All Pro his rookie year. Remember he had like 5 or 6 interceptions his rookie year, and everybody was like, "Oh my lord!"
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been injured, since then coming out of Alabama. So I expect him to pick his play up and be more of a lead dog, a lead guy in that secondary in his bounce back year.
Isaac Tesla had a pretty decent season. Remember, I was kind of like that's one of my guys to watch last year, and not the most impact because of what was in front of him,
But
but
he made plays when he was on the field. Yes,
yes,
sir.
he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Uh, so you basically see this offense being in the same stratosphere that they were last year.
Absolutely. All that speed and yeah, absolutely.
Uh, let's go into the schedule real quick. Uh, starting
Larry,
week.
Larry, one thing before we go, and I mean this been on my brain for a while now, but one thing I will say about this Detroit Lions um, team, I don't like the fact that they haven't, for a lack of a better word, they haven't put enough emphasis on getting that number 2 pass rusher for Aiden Hutchinson, because this feels like these are some of his, not say wasted years, but I don't think we're maximizing him to his full potential. Um, with the lack of attention being put on that, that edge too, in my humble opinion, because I feel like the guys that we name off Davenport, exclude Derek Moore because he's a rookie because we don't know what he got. I feel like there's guys out there that you could have went and got that still may be available. Uh,
Surprise
I, who knows, right? And they may do something at the deadline. I don't know, but I feel like there's guys out there that they can go get to, subsequently take the pressure off Aiden Hutchinson, as you would say. You want him to get 14 sacks, but you want to. I look at remember TJ Watt from a few years ago. He went crazy, but on the other side he had Nate, Highsmith, Herbert. He had guys over there that can get to the quarterback as well. And right now, I don't see anything besides Aiden that can get to the quarterback on a consistent basis. And I think that's my frustration with Detroit is you've put so much money and your resources on the offensive side of the ball, rightfully so. You put the graphic up with J-Mo, Gibbs, St. Brown, Goff, and you've done it on the defense side of the ball, but I don't think you've addressed the trenches enough, in my opinion, to see the best version of this Detroit Lions defense, as I will say again.
They did have Al Qadam Muhammad, who had 11 sacks last year. So he was another double-digit guy. But at this point in his career, it's like he's just good role player who had a pretty damn good year.
Yeah, are you going to get that again? Can you guarantee me that again? You can't. So it's like,
And he's gone to the Bucks. Uh, so now you're gonna have to rely on one of those younger players, or if you're smart, hey, go and get that guy that's in Vegas. so they can go ahead and get that compensation back. I mean, what else, right? What other pass rusher out there is it? You got Max, and I mean, what other pass rusher is there out there to help Aiden Hutchinson on the other side?
I can't really think of one right now, but the logical and obvious answer is Max. So I agree with you, but from a personal, I don't like it.
Where is Vegas going this year?
To the schedule, to the schedule, man. See what's going on with the schedule. I ain't got time for the hate right now, bro. I swear, they ain't gonna never let me live, man. I swear.
going to week one, going to week one, they got the
I'm here to do my
Saints.
job and everything, man. Just keep dogging.
So that might be a dub for them right there. And then you add the Bills in week two on a Thursday night. You got the Jets in week three, week four. You add Carolina on a Sunday night. That's surprising. Carolina getting a Sunday night game, and then
Mm.
at Arizona the next week. Bye week. Why has everybody got a week six bye week? You got the Green Bay Packers on week seven, Vikings in week eight, at the Dolphins in week nine, Patriots in Germany on week 10. Come back week 11, you got the Bucks, you got the Bears in week 12 on Thanksgiving, week 13 at the Falcons, got the Titans in week 14, at the Vikings in week 15 on a Sunday night. Then on Monday night, you got the Giants finishing off at the Bears, at the Packers on the road. Uh, this this schedule right here is kind of like hit or miss because you don't have a consistent stretch of games where it's like, unless you're looking at Patriots, Buccaneers, Bears, but then you get to the Falcons and Titans, then you finish it off with the Vikings, Giants, Bears, Packers. Like, this could be a year. I mean, it's the last place schedule, but this could be a year where Detroit can take advantage of this.
Yeah, man, this is a favorable schedule, man. Especially, I do like the matchup. Week two in the new Buffalo Stadium on Thursday night. That's gonna be a spicy one. Um, yeah, man, it's a favorable schedule for them. Fourth place schedule. I don't see in too many hiccups. Maybe Green Bay. One with Chicago. I don't see too many hiccups, bro. I see all winnable games. But, the Patriots gonna be tough. Yeah, this schedule.
The Patriots one gonna be tough because you on neutral ground, and
Yeah, and it can go either. It can go either way.
exactly when you playing over there, they don't tell you who's winning that one.
This a
Uh,
this a favorable schedule for them. Like, besides the obvious tough opponents, the Bills, the Packers, the Bears, and the Patriots. I don't see anything that's going to like kind of scare me from not picking the Lions to win 11, 12 games, bro. 13, in my opinion. Now they could, NFC North can knock each other out and go silly, and they go 10-7, and they lose a couple that they shouldn't lose. But I don't see anything that really scares me with this schedule. They have a pretty favorable schedule for to be a fourth place team last year, and we know what this team capable of being.
yeah, absolutely. The offensive coordinator, you know who the offensive coordinator is?
Is the Drew Petzing?
He came over from Arizona last
Mm-hmm.
year, right? So that was Jonathan Gannon's offensive coordinator. Could this offense gotta be, if not on the same trajectory, maybe a little higher, and then Kelvin Shepard as defensive coordinator.
I remember Kelvin Shepard was in the league, man. I remember when he was balling in the league. Yeah,
Right.
man. Yeah, Drew Petzing. I keep, excuse me, I keep hearing great things about Drew Petzing. I don't expect anything different from this Lions team to keep lighting it up because apparently Petzing can like to throw some stuff at you, boy. So yeah, man.
Had Jacoby Brissett over there looking like the next like Randall Cunningham over there.
Got that man a raise, boy. Got that got that man a
Got him a
nice
ring.
old chunk of raise. Absolutely.
So come next year, around free agency, we could be looking at him as one of those guys that could be a head coach candidate. Yep. We got anything else you want to add to the Lions?
No, I think this is a critical year for Dan Campbell and getting his team back to where they need to be. Kings of the North. But we got some young bucks knocking on the door though. We got Caleb. We got this now this division. We always say that AFC North is the most competitive division, NFC West. This division is not that far behind, if not in front of these two divisions, because either one of these quarterbacks in this division, and I know we're wrapping up the NFC North now, they can light you up. Any one of these quarterbacks in this division can light you up. You can see Jordan Love going crazy. You can see Kyler Murray getting the resurgence going crazy. You can see Caleb being Caleb. You can see Golf being what he was 2-3 years ago. So, and all these teams got the potential. Look at as a collective whole, bro. Before we get up out here, look at the teams in this division. Look at their wide receiver rooms. You got Jefferson Addison. You got Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed. Then you come out and you got St. Brown, J-Mo, and Laporta. And then you go up to who I'm missing?
Chicago, where you got
Chicago with Luther Burden, Roma Dunze, Colston Loveland. These rooms in the NFC North. Oh, we didn't even say Tucker Craft. We didn't even say Tucker Craft.
each team in the division got elite level type of tight end as well
Certified dogs. Laporta,
too.
Kraft, Hawkinson,
Loveland.
and Loveland. And if you want to throw Cole Kmet in there, he can get you, he can go too. Man, I think this division, in my opinion, so far, as a collective group, as the best set of skill players I've seen in a while. You got Josh Jacobs and Green Bay. You got DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monanga as a tandem. You got our boy, what's his name, Aaron Jones. We know he stayed hurt in Minnesota, and then
Jordan Mason, he can move chains as well. So, and then with Jahmyr Gibbs over here, and let Isaiah Pacheco get somewhat healthy. You know how the angry runner he is.
run like a taller, run like a bad kid.
Their running back room, it don't look. But besides the top heavy guys like Jahmyr and Isaiah, you got Sione Baki, Justin Jackson, Jabari Small, Jacob Sailors, and you don't. It's not sexy.
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, even with the wide receiver room, like you go past Amon Ra, Jameson, and then Isaac, and you got Cedric Wilson, who's got some depth. Greg Dortch, I forgot all about him. He's over there. But other than that, you just got a bunch of no name guys that got to prove themselves. So, yeah, man, this a top heavy team, and lo and behold, nobody gets injured.
Somebody that blow on somebody wrong, it's over.
Absolutely. We good? You have anything else?
Nah, I'm straight.
Win totals.
I get about 10, 11.
For this easy schedule, well, I ain't gonna say easy schedule, but for this favorable schedule, I would say about 10, 11, 12 as well.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be shocked if they clicking and rolling and be up in that 13 win range. I would not be shocked.
Definitely. Well, everybody, let us know what you think about the Lions. If the Lions are your team, if we left anything out, let us know. Tell us how we did. Maybe we did good, whether we did bad, terrible, whatever. But we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be approaching the AFC North. We're touching on the Prince. Touching on the Pittsburgh Steelers and going through all those teams up there. That should be very fun. Get Mr. Roll back for the Ravens coverage. And, yeah. Y'all have a good night, everybody.